BNR is behind us, and that means that Scam is done. With Fury banned, we hope that the Rakdos Menace can disappear forever, and the metagame is going to change and adapt. A lot of players are going to try different things, tried and true strategies that have existed in Modern for a while, and those are the type of strategies that honestly, Mill is here to feast on. I've played against you for so long that I know my plan down to a T, and you're going to see that in these two games. One against Green Tron, one against Amulet Titan, stalwarts of the Modern format, but ultimately decks that fall to some of the simplest things that Mill can offer. Enjoy the games. Now, I start this game off on the draw. The hand's pretty good, it's not that bad, but take your attention to the top left-hand corner of the screen, because you're going to notice that my opponent actually mauls all the way down to 3 on the play, and we're playing against Tron, so that's why. They probably have a way to get Tron here, so I don't have a Field of Ruin, and I'm on the draw, so things are looking bad. I'm not even playing Mainboard Surgical, so while they tutor through, they find an Expedition map, but play the double mine, so that actually bodes well for us, because we can Archive Trap them, drown what they play first, dig for a field with the Visions. It's not that bad. Now, we're going to be able to Archive Trap them. We have a Visions coming down the line, and I mean, the snow-covered swamp is a little unfortunate, but hey, with the Otawara out, we can then play our Visions, we find our Field of Ruin, and hold up the drown if they get too crazy. Fortunately enough, they don't find the top deck, well, Urza's Tower. We're able to take game 1. Back on the draw, which is going to be a familiar thing for this video, and I have the Soul Guide Lantern and the Field of Ruin, so okay. They play the Relic, I have the Archive Trap to maybe get some things going, but I need to find an Extirpate, which I do with my Preordain. Now, the Field of Ruin can get me to a basic swamp if I can get there, and thankfully my opponent stumbles. They play an Urza Saga as their second land, and they're just making a ton of mistakes. I don't know how this is a keepable hand in any way, shape, or form. They'll dismember my Crab at this point, but I mean, my Field of Ruin is going to come down. They'll pop their Relic for the value, and what are they doing? I just don't understand how this is a keepable hand in any way, shape, or form for Tron. I guess our opponents may be relatively newer to the deck, or they just don't know the matchup. So I'm going to Field of Ruin them, then I'm going to Archive Trap them, and we're going to Extirpate out a, well, Tron land from there. They're not getting their way. And if you noticed on that screen right there, there is no shuffle effect at all in this deck. The Soul Guide Lantern is just going to be able to redraw for me, which is fantastic. I love cantripping. The Ruin Crab comes down next turn. The Haywire Might is not going to do anything. I mean, they're going to get an Urza's Mine. That's not even worth anything. That's just a colorless land. Haywire Might can take my Soul Guide Lantern for all I care. Play that. Play my Field of Ruin. They will get another basic forest. And look, opponent, just concede. It's not worth it. And I mean, there it is. It's like they're listening to me from the past. Remember how I said it's a pattern to be on the draw, but I mean, hey, 3 lands and whatnot. We see an Urza Saga, so I don't actually know what's going on here. This could be one of 3 decks, but we'll play it out. We have the Spell Pierce. We can counter a lot of things that come down, so this is fine. Urza Saga triggers. They play a Forest. Now, it could still be Tron if it's like our last opponent, but I'm thinking this is Titan at this point. So let's play our Crab, let's get aggressive, and then we can start milling them out, hold up the Spell Pierce in case they play an Amulet of Vigor. Now, they're going to tap 1 for the Saga trigger, which is great. They're going to lose that. They'll get their Amulet of Vigor, then play their Dryad. So they beat our Spell Pierce, which is unfortunate. And I don't really have a Fatal Push, so I'm going to have to use this Drown just to kill this Dryad. But I need to. I can't let Valakut be a win. Fortunately, I should say, I top deck the Fatal Push, which makes the match so much easier because now I can just hold up the Drown. I can counter the Titan if it comes down. Fortunately, our opponent just passes. I find me an Oboro, play the Ruin Crab. I'm milling, I'm chilling, I'm doing so much. Thanks to the Preordain giving me some selection as well. Now, they play an Arboreal Grazer. They're going to get some mana going. They're going to tap, untap. This is the regular Amulet function. And you know where this is going. Look at what they're doing. They haven't even played a land per turn. They're tapping out all their mana. They're creating 6. They have access to 7. They play the Prime Time, but without a Cavern of Souls. That is going to the Nether Realm at this point. I untap with the Ruin Crab, play my Preordain for some selection, keep the Polluted Delta, because look at how much it's milling them for. And then at this point, I just got to go for things. I got a Fractured Sanity. I got a Spell Pierce. At this point, if they play a Titan, how are they even winning? Because this is fine. Look, they're untapping. They're doing all their nonsense. They play a Titan here. But what do they tutor with this? Look at their graveyard on this side. There is absolutely nothing that wins them the game. Sure, Lattice and you get haste. You can't even pay for the mana to give it haste. You took 2 cards out. You made it easier. Honestly, at this point, the concede is worth it because on my turn, if you had a counterspell for whatever reason that you didn't use before, the Fractured Sanity cycle gets around it. Let's go to game 2. All right, look, all 4 games of this league on the draw. I'm not a fan, but double crab, Fractured Sanity, Preordain to help me select, it's fine. It's not the best hand against Titan, I know, but it'll work for its purposes. Now, they very well could have endurances, they could not. Honestly, the modern leagues are really weird right now. Just with everything banned, people are doing everything. Look, they're already at this much mana. They got the Expedition map. They're probably playing the Titan next turn, which is fine. I will just select and look for my cards. I bought them both cards, grab a Hedron Crab, and really at this point, just hope and pray. With the Arboreal Grazer out, they just One Ring me, which is insane because the Ruin Crab just gets around it. The One Ring is just a card draw. Now, I play my basic Swamp, hold up the Drown, which I think is fine. I could have played the Hedron Crab here, but I just want to make them think I have as much mana as possible. Like, I have a Spell Pierce backed up as well. It's all about the psychological games. Now, they're going to tap, untap, do a bunch of things. They drew with their One Ring. And at this point, look, guess what? Cast your spell. I got to drown for it. That's exactly where it's going, drowning into the graveyard. Goodbye, Titan. And again, the One Ring, the protection's completely gone, so now the Hedron Crab is going to be perfectly fine. But I'm just going to play another Ruin Crab. Because guess what? If they decide to keep going, which they don't, my Ruin Crabs get around the second ring that they might be worried about. And this is exactly why the mill matchup is absolutely insane against so many of these quote-unquote fragile decks. If you're coming to the modern leagues to beat mill, you gotta have options. You gotta have, honestly, it sounds really bad to say, just a higher Mana Trader's rental limit. You gotta get your endurances. You have to have your surgical protection. You have to present a bigger threat against decks like this, or else you're gonna lose. And if you're gonna get salty about it, not my problem. GG's opponents. This is why mill will always live strong. As long as you're playing these fragile decks. I'm here to eat.